We are back with another episode of the Water Cooler Podcast presented by Skol Marketing. Now, today's topic is one near and dear to our hearts, one that we use in our daily lives. Folks, the three of us are grown adults who regularly send each other tiny cartoon faces to express our feelings, and somehow they're just completely normal now. Nobody questioned it. Nobody voted on it. It just kind of happened. So today, we are talking about emojis. All right, guys, let's dive into it. The emoji origin story. We're going to start with a little brief history and how they kind of worked their way into our culture. So emojis, as we know them today, started off in the 1990s. There was an artist, a designer out of Japan named Shigetaka Kortira. He was age 25 and he was working for Telecom at the time. And he ran into a little bit of an issue. Much like Twitter in a modern sense, there was a character limit on emails that he was sending. Now, this was the early day of emails, of course. They were still pretty fresh in 1999, and they were capped at 250 characters. And so emojis became a workaround to say more. So the original set of emojis developed by Korita were 176 emojis, and they were drawn on 12 by 12 pixel grid. They were originally, in a very Japanese sense, inspired by manga, weather symbols, and even street signs. So basic things in everyday life all of a sudden became digitized in this platform to send messages with using less characters. So those 176 original are now in the permanent collection at the company which Kortira was working for, and they stayed mostly in Japan until Apple added the emoji keyboard to iOS in 2011. Now, this is when they kind of went mainstream. They became more part of our daily lives and really took off from there. Moving on from the original story of emojis, I think it's important to recognize why these resonate with us. So humans, for as far back as we can trace, have used symbols to get across messages. So if you were to see a heart, what comes to mind?
Love.
Exactly. Love. So humans have always communicated visually. This goes back to cave paintings, to pictograms, to hieroglyphs. Emojis are essentially modern takes on those. And a lot of times, much like the original reason for creating emojis in the first place, to send emails, it gets a message across in a new way, a simple way. We are visual creatures, if you will. And this has just become a simple way to sort of get those messages across. And a little fun pushback that came from emojis. They're not really a language on their own, per se. They supplement what we're already writing. And that's a little bit different than kind of these original uses for them. So like hieroglyphs had full grammar, right? They were kind of their own language themselves, whereas emojis sort of add color to things. And one linguist called the emoji the fastest growing language on Earth. And I think they had a point there. And it's already eclipsed hieroglyphics in reach. And a little stat on the reach, there are over 10 billion emojis used per day. That's more than one per person on Earth per day. And just a little quick tidbit for you. As of 2024, the most used emoji in the United States is the crying a river emoji. That's what I like to call it, where the tears are just rushing down the face. For a long time, for basically the entire existence of emojis on iOS from 2011 to 2024, it was the crying laughing, otherwise known as the joy emoji. So I don't know if that is a symbol of what's gone on in society or what's happening there, but we've sort of changed that. I will say that the crying a river emoji could also just be like extreme laughter. Do you guys interpret it that way? It doesn't necessarily have to be like a sad.
It depends on what's before it, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And a few more quick little tidbits for you. In branded/marketing content in 2025, emojis were number one and are the most used as formatting tools and not just emotions. So they're being used in marketing across the board. And another quick stat for you, posts with emojis tend to get over 57% more engagement on Facebook and 48% on Instagram. So there's really some utility there on the social media side of things.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's similar to what we see on short form content pieces where you need to have a visual interruption. Obviously, what you said is humans are visual people, so we like to see. We append meaning to visuals when we're scrolling on social media, and maybe like a I know a lot of people use like the siren emoji to capture people's attention on like a new blog. I think that's kind of been I feel like that's kind of been phased out or used too much. But people, when they run across that, obviously it's a differentiator. So it's appealing to the visual sense, and it makes people stop and look and say like, okay, what the heck is going on? Now I want to read a little bit more. Especially if you can use them pretty creatively. I feel like you can definitely capture more attention. But
that is a great point. I feel like in the case of the red alarm emoji, it's not necessarily adding more to the words that you're saying, like the crying, laughing one would. It's more so like an added visual. It's almost like an aid to the graphic that you're posting on social media more than anything.
It's almost, it's like modern evolutionary tactic where it's like, this seems like something that I need to pay attention to, so I'm going to stop and pay attention to it. Like I might be missing out, or I'll have FOMO if I don't pay attention to it, right?
Especially that bright red too, right? I feel like we're kind of coded to respond strongly to red, you know, the color of blood and whatnot. That red alarm. Well, it's true, right?
That's why we're Skol Marketing.
I like that though. It's like some emojis are there to like enhance the graphic of your post, and then others are there to like fill in the blanks about the emotions behind the post, or like text messages, which is interesting.
We're going to dive a little bit more into specific emojis and kind of what they mean and our interpretations of them later on in the episode. But as people who run social media accounts for clients and for ourselves, I'm curious, what do you think is like your most commonly used for social media specifically? I know for me, I love, especially when posting a link to something, doing the finger pointing emoji, whether it's down or to the side, depending on the length of the post, or doing the arrow emoji as well, just to kind of like really push people. Like we were saying, it's an added to the graphic, push people to the link more so than anything. What do you guys typically use for social media? What is like the number one most used for you?
I like the arrows a lot too. It's like a good way to like break up the text between like contact us here and then the actual link. I also like using the chain link emoji.
Oh yeah,
when
I don't think I've ever actually used that.
Which I like that differentiator to break up the pointing and the arrows.
Another kind of underrated one is just the smartphone, because the smartphone on Apple has a little arrow towards it, kind of indicating like go on your phone and click on this. I feel like that's a good one in a similar sense to the chain, right? Like, you know, instead of using the literal link, you can say basically check it out with the phone emoji. It kind of like intuitively makes the person think, oh, I should go on my or I'm probably already on my phone, but I should click this link and kind of go through that experience.
I like using the human hand gestures a lot. Honestly, I feel like I use the rock on one a lot, or the bicep.
Yeah, that's
especially because we work with a lot of contractors. And
oh yeah,
I'm just thinking like of a caption, some cliche caption like "teamwork makes the dream work."
Yeah,
and then the muscle.
Like the muscle.
When this crew shows up, you know a roof is about to get made. And then a bunch of the muscles.
So I use the muscles a lot, but then also like what you guys were saying for links, I feel like I usually will use like a finger pointing because it kind of humanizes it a little bit more, makes it feel more personal than like one of those blue arrows. I don't know. So
we were kind of talking about this off mic, but the yellow thumbs up has almost become like the modern day version of when you'd get the text back in the day that just says K or OK instead of OKAY, like sort of that passive aggressive. Are there any other emojis that kind of give you a similar feeling that are almost like kind of a passive aggressive sort of feeling? I mean, the thumbs up is kind of the charter one for that, but any other ones come to mind?
I didn't know a thumbs up was passive aggressive.
You use the thumb all the time.
I always thumb
and
up
I always think you hate
messages.
me. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily think it has to be always passive aggressive. It depends on the context, but it almost just kind of reminds me of like a quick like boomer message of okay, and it's just a thumbs up. Like it's almost like you don't want to take the time to actually write something. You just want to give a thumbs up.
Or find a better contextual emoji.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. I mean, there's hundreds, if not thousands, to choose from. So
the thumbs up is already ambiguous in itself, just because of the meaning that we've appended to it since. But I don't know. I always avoid. I mean, I've noticed myself using it, especially when you can like hold in the comment and then just like respond.
Yes,
with like a quick with like a quick response. That makes more sense. But if it is like, I don't know, if you wrote out a big text and then you just get a thumbs up back, you're just like, oh, shoot.
It's like rejection. Yeah,
it feels kind of like rejection. I'm trying to think of other ones that give me the ick. Well, I guess the emoticon of the colon and the backslash
Yeah.
always makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong. Or it's like, oh man, they're so disappointed in me. How can I ever make this up to them? And then I'll send them a bunch of happy emojis.
I feel like
Or the cowboy emoji.
going down this rabbit hole is just a true testament to the power that these emojis have, right? I mean, they can be interpreted in so many different ways. Like what maybe is passive aggressive or rude to me could be positive to Abe, right? Like we all kind of have our own twist on that. And that's the beauty of this sort of color being added to language, right? Like it can be used in so many different ways, but it's also kind of tricky, right? Especially, posting on behalf of clients on social media, for example. You want to be careful about what you're using because, again, what you interpret as a meaning for an emoji could mean something completely different to the audience that you're going for. So it's important to kind of be mindful about that sort of thing.
Kind of like your experience that you had recently with the Italian,
we
chef kiss emoji.
We can talk about
let's
that.
unpack that a little bit.
So I work with a client. I won't say their name right now, but they are rooted in Italian heritage, and we were showcasing some work that they had done, and I had chosen the emoji of look in the camera, this little symbol. And me, as maybe a ignorant American, I did not understand the context that held in Italian language and culture. And I learned by discussing with my client that it could be interpreted as a WTF type thing. For me, as an American who has never been to Italy, I think about it like you're in a New York pizza parlor and you're like, oh, that's a good slice of pie, that sort of thing. Seeing it as like a positive affirmation. Whereas globally, that has a completely different context. So it's important to, maybe do a little bit of research and be in touch with the audience that you're trying to put these out for, because there could be that situation where, for me, I thought it was seemingly harmless and maybe on brand. It has a completely different connotation to the audience that we might be trying to reach.
That's a good point. It's also important to understand too that different social media platforms have like different emojis, or like if you post one emoji on X may not look the exact same as it does on Facebook.
Or usually you get like an error when you're trying to if you copy and paste from Instagram to X, it'll just have it all show up as a camera or something. And then I've posted it before and I'm like, oh God.
3 cameras. What?
Yeah, what? I didn't do that. What? I want to go back to what you said, Hunter, about just emojis adding color. Because I feel like the genesis of the idea behind emojis was just to remove ambiguity of phrases. And I did prepare just thinking, okay, what is one sentence where you could have a whole different context if you added different emojis? And for the sake of, since this is a social media podcast, the sentence that I came with today was, I saw your post, period. And so thinking about that already on its own, I saw your post, period. In this world where everyone is overthinking, if you got that text from a significant other or something, you would be like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What do you think? What do you think? We're yeah, I'm terrified. I'm shaking my boots right now. But if you got that same text that was, I saw your post with the heart eyes emoji, then you're like, oh, okay, they liked it. They liked it. Or if I saw your post with the guy thinking, you'd be like, oh, they might have some differing opinions on that, or maybe they're confused by it or something. And so you would go down a rabbit hole of overthinking. And then the other one was, I saw your post with the, where you're like, oh, I have just committed social suicide. This is going to be really, really bad. But I think it's just important to see it that way, and how a single character, a single emoji can add so much to a sentence or a paragraph or whatever. And yeah, you just have to think about the people that are using social media and how using the right emojis can soften what you're saying a lot, or it can obviously add more color and create a whole different meaning than not using it or using something out of context.
It's a really interesting point. It is almost, I think of it as like a battery. On one end, you're putting out the message and your interpretation of it is your own. You're the one crafting it. And then on the other end of the battery, there is sort of the audience's reception of it, right? So if I were to input, like you said, a period at the end of that sentence, I am just kind of saying that plainly, right? It's not adding any color. It's simple. And that message comes across and you may interpret that as, kind of emotionless, very cut and dry. But then on the other end of the battery, if you add an emoji, you're putting a charge into that message, and that is being received on the other end, and their sort of interpretation can be changed by what you're putting into that battery on the other end.
I like that. I would also say that a period can be charged in itself. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people, when they're texting, they don't use punctuation as you normally would. And so adding a period at the end of something can actually make it seem like they're disappointed. Or
Yeah.
that has like been that's what's been adopted.
My mom
by a lot of
always
people.
does ... but she doesn't realize
so many boomers do that.
I know, it's just like are you mad at me? Like, are you like, I'm like, this is a basic text you're sending. I'm really confused.
I think it's important to remember too that it's not a perfect science, right? Like this is sort of painting. It's an art form in a sense, right? Like there's no direct way to convey what you're feeling to equate what the audience or the receptor of your message is going to feel, right? And therefore we kind of try to find this like common ground on certain emojis. Like there's no mistaking what you might mean if you're doing the crying laughing emoji, right? Like that's kind of a universally accepted one that everybody knows. And so that is like more of a safe one, I feel like. And just to kind of get back to the original point, like it really is kind of a two-pronged process where your messaging is being created by yourself, and you need to be able to be strategic with what emoji you're using to sort of soften the message or heighten the intensity of what message you're trying to get across on that other end.
Or just create that visual pattern that we were saying to like actually stand out from the crowd. Because if people are doom scrolling on their platforms and seeing just a bunch of block text that has no color in it at all, you're going to be less likely to read that because there's just so much content out there. But if there's something that like triggers this, what I was saying earlier, like, oh, this seems interesting, or that was a unique way to use this emoji, or I haven't even seen that emoji in forever. Why is that in this sentence? Then it can get people to stop, which is cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any kind of absurd emojis you use that maybe aren't super commonly totally understand them at first?
Oh, yeah.
Not in social media, but maybe more in your personal life or like in Slack.
Yeah, I've got a good one. I love using the smiling cowboy. I think it just adds a little flavor to messages. People have often asked me, like, why the cowboy? Why are you wearing a cowboy hat? What is this? And my answer is always, it's just a happy face. I like to spice things up.
Look at that
to
nice
me,
hat.
to me, that just adds a lot more character. And the smiling cowboy looks a little bit more energetic than kind of just the basic smiling ones. It's just kind of an easy way to add a little more creative flavor on what is already kind of a simple message of happiness. So for me, I feel like my underrated one that I use a lot is that smiling cowboy. I love that fella.
Little Western flair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like to use combinations of emojis, which is that's a new gen sort of thing. But what do you think of this one? I love using the eye plus the lips plus the eye again, and just whatever else I can add to it. Just because it's goofy, I guess it reflects my zaniness and eccentricity. How can you look at that and not just feel a little happier?
Yeah, I think for me, it just kind of brings a more like personalized element to it versus if you were just to do the one like rock on symbol. It shows quite literally a face, and it shows the two hands. So it makes it look like you're almost emphasizing it more. And the lips are kind of smiling in a sense. And the eyes are very
The eyes are soft.
lively. Yes, they're soft and lively. They're easy to glance at. It just is like a more emphasized, heightened version of just using the one rock on emoji.
Cool.
So good.
So I should paint this on a rock wall, is what you're saying?
I think so, yeah.
The two I use, my kind of absurd ones, which are also in the document, but the Easter Island egg or like face rock guy, and then the orangutan is. So I send these when it's like I'm trying to convey either what someone said was just kind of stupid, or like I'm just thinking stupid, or I don't understand anything. Because the
like
orangutan's kind of slumped, just like looking very
what?
like blank stare.
Yeah.
So I send those when it's just, I don't know, I'm trying to goof on someone, or I'm just feeling kind of stupid myself.
Yeah, I've always loved the Easter Island head, but I've never figured out how to use that organically. But now I'm going to start using that,
Kind of like a duh.
especially because I
Yeah.
have a lot of those moments.
Do we
so.
think subconsciously the Easter Island head means more for a generation that grew up with Night at the Museum?
Yeah,
Probably.
Dum dum. We all think of
Yeah, yeah.
Dum dum. Give
I
me
do
gum
think
gum.
of that.
All right, so we've just done a little conversation about emojis, their history, their uses, much, much more. But in this next segment, we're going to try something new. The three of us are going to take a look at a random emoji generator and give our interpretations on it. Now, I've got a feeling we're going to have a lot of different answers, maybe some overlap, but we really want to showcase to you, the audience, just how versatile and unique these pieces of art are. So we're going to dive into the random emoji segment here on the water cooler now.
Woo! Okay. So we are going to play a game where we take the sentence, I saw your post, and then randomize an emoji using a random emoji generator, and then appending that to the end of I saw your post, and then getting each of our take on what that means for us.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, here we go. First emoji. We have the blue book. So for me, right away, I'm thinking that they learned something, that it was very studious and very scholarly.
Yeah, my first reaction was that clearly whoever posted a super long post. That was probably like, hey, I saw your post, and it was like a book.
Needed my reading glasses.
Yeah, like it was a lot.
Posted a whole novel.
Like paragraphs.
I like that.
Yeah,
Sure. Oh, your LinkedIn post, right?
yeah.
My interpretation was maybe somebody was doing the classic post of showing them maybe at the beach or in their backyard reading a book, but you know damn well they're not actually reading that book. They're just taking the picture for the sake of acting like they read. That's what I got out of it.
I like it.
I like this.
What a fun activity.
3 different perspectives. All right. Next one. The bike.
I interpret that as you were going fast, some speed.
Okay.
Yeah, similar, fast. Maybe they're riding a bike, traveling. It's a little less abstract, I think. Seems a little bit more straightforward.
I think I interpreted it as peddling bad information on people. I had to think about that one a little bit. Initially, I actually thought like, oh, it was a cool bike video. So
What about since bikes have gears? That post got the gears turning. It made me think.
probably use
Maybe
the
if there was
gear
like a
emoji.
brain page with it.
I saw your post.
Oh, okay. So the gun emoji makes me think that this person who sent the message, I saw your post with the gun, is pissed. They're coming for some vengeance. They are upset. Like
Take it down.
Yeah.
they're upset. They're holding you at gunpoint.
I think
I
it's
would agree.
almost, though, it's a little bit funnier in my opinion. Like I saw your post, like you're dead, almost in a joking way, though. I don't take this one super seriously.
It's kind of like adding the skull and crossbones, or like
Yeah.
Man, I'm dead.
Yeah.
or like the coffin. I use that
Yeah,
one too.
yeah.
This is like my friends posted a picture, like a group photo, and I look like terrible in it.
Sure.
I think the fact that it's like a little squirt gun softens the blow a little bit. Obviously, that's intentional on
Yeah.
Apple's part, but I think
Wasn't
that
it a
changes.
real gun before?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah. This
It's like a pistol.
last one.
Sad.
I think if you were to put this after the sentence, I saw your post, the post probably is something incredibly tragic or sad or disheartening.
Yeah.
I think that this is a pretty
Someone died.
gloomy, down in the dumps, sympathetic sort of face.
This is one of the saddest emojis.
It is really sad.
It's really, really
I
sad.
mean, look how low those eyes are.
You don't play around with this emoji.
No, no.
You take this one lightly.
the half moon face.
When I see this, I saw your post with the half moon. I think of almost similar to the light bulb, like kind of a wisdom thing, right? Like we look up to the sky and the stars to reflect and remember our place in the universe. And I think that this could symbolize sort of a reflective post, an insightful post, something that makes you think about things that are greater than yourself, like the moon.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Mic drop.
I don't think I have anything better than that.
For me, it was just I'm still up.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I like that. I like that. Dragon. Yeah, I interpret this one immediately as like angry or like fiery. Like I saw your post.
And for me, it was like, that's fire. That's so fire that is like fire in good context. That's what the, the Zoomers are saying.
I like that.
That it's so fiery that you get to hold a dragon.
Yeah, I think I would lean more towards Abe's interpretation. That's probably what I would think, kind of the steam coming out of the nostrils. You're kind of fired up. You're maybe a little upset, but you're not so upset that you'd use like the more human face that's like red and angry. I think it's a little softer version of that still kind of gets across that message that maybe you are a little fired up and upset, but it does soften the blow seeing that beautiful green, creative looking dragon.
Yeah, I will say the eyes look kind of dead. Cool. Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
Alrighty. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of The Water Cooler. It is so good to be back here in the Skol Marketing Studios, talking with my buddies, talking emojis, and hopefully sharing a little knowledge with you. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow for future episodes of The Water Cooler Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.